Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Run In Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, and that is the Jay Uso to my Jimmy Uso. Sped, what's going on, brother? You doing all right tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. We got a little bit of rain, which is nice. A little bit, not much, but we got a drought. If you weren't here for the behind the scenes, I did say we have a little drought going on. That's why I associated that,
A little bit. And don't forget, you can get the behind the scenes that Sped is talking about over on Twitch on SpedRock4, SP3 DROCK4 on Twitch. You get free drops for video gaming, for different games and stuff like that, mobile games. You also enjoy some behind the scenes content that you don't see here on the show. Basically, it's just us being idiots, which I guess is what you see on the show too, but it's different because we don't really talk about wrestling. We just talk about life, doing all that. And we can't start without thanking our number one fan with us every show from day one, Lady Alpha. That is not the comment I wanted. We're already having fun here. Welcome into the Run In Wrestling Podcast, your home for all things wrestling, hate-free, drama-free. Join the discussion, please. If you're in the chat, please let us know as we talk about our topic this week. We are doing something a little different. We normally go through the different shows, kind of talk about highlights of the week. But we wanted to do something a little different since it's not a PLE week. We wanted to do some predictions on who we think is going to be the next champion on every brand. Not just world champion, not just any champion, every champion. WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW. We are going to predict who we think is going to be the next champion, every single one of them. There's a bunch. So the premise will kind of go, we'll bring up our nifty slideshow here that we have every week. You see down at the bottom who is next. You see the order. We will go through NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and AEW. Pick every champion. I will put a picture of the current champion up on the screen, and then Sped and I will tell you who we think is going to be next, and you guys can make fun of us because we have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Good?
Hi, Scott.
High five, Scott, to everybody with the arrows. If you don't want to know where to read, where to find, just look for Scott Hall pointing. That's where you know what to look for, what we're talking about.
Tiny Scott.
But we will get right into it, since there is a lot to go through. Doing this thing, I realized in both companies now, there's a ton of champions.
Oh, man.
Also, caveat, we will not be doing Ring of Honor. I know that's technically part of AEW, but we only have an hour or so, not 5. So we had to take something off, and really neither one of us watch Ring of Honor because it's not really on TV much. So we just didn't do it out of respect for Ring of Honor because we don't want to sit there and throw out names that we have no clue about. So if you miss Ring of Honor, let us know who you think should be Ring of Honor champions. We'll still put the comments up, even though we don't talk about them. We respect all wrestling here, but we will focus on the ones that we watch because we don't want to sound even more like idiots than we already do.
Yay!
All right. Starting out with NXT, the first champion we will go through. Which NXT champions? Sorry, I don't know who made this slideshow. It wasn't me, apparently. Heritage Cup. Charlie Dempsey is your current champion. I'll let you go first on this one. We'll kind of alternate just so you don't go first every time, so you can play off what I say, things like that.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But I'll let you go first on this one. Who you think is going to be the next Heritage Cup champion?
I think it's going to be Lexis King. Lexis King is gearing for something big. Something big's coming his way. And what did he not do the last time? He didn't cheat to win. That's coming soon. I think he's going to cheat to win to beat Charlie Dempsey. I like Lexis King, but Charlie Dempsey's a little better. But that's going to be your next one, in my opinion. It's going to be Lexis King.
That's good. And I see where that's going as far as the story's going. I don't think he will, though. I think he's going to stick to this. I think he may win another championship. And I guess I need to preface the rest of these by saying, look, we are only predicting the next champion. It's not to say we don't think, if I say it, because I don't think it's going to be Lexis King. I don't think Lexis King will ever win a championship. I just don't think he's going to be the next one to win this championship.
I feel that.
I think he will challenge for this one, but lose it. I think he will ultimately go on to win another championship. I don't think it'll be the Heritage Cup, but I like to use the Heritage Cup as something to kind of rebrand or to bring up. And you'll see later on in my picks the reason why this, so it's going to give it away. I think Duke Hudson will actually be your next Heritage Cup champion, kind of a little bit out of left field. But I think once this Tuesday happens where the number one contenders match to either Chase U wins the number one contendership or loses Chase U forever, obviously you can tell where I'm going with that. I think Ridge Holland wins and disbands Chase U. I think Duke goes off and does his own thing, and I think he starts with a Heritage Cup champion to build himself back up. So I think that's going to be very soon, probably around stand and deliver time, if not sooner. But I think Charlie Dempsey holds on to it for now because they're doing a lot with him.
They're doing great stuff with him. But let me ask you this.
Sure.
Do you think, and I do think this is going to happen. I think Duke and what was the other kid's name?
Riley,
I think they're Riley. I was going to say Riley too. Duke and Riley, they're going to interfere and help out Ridge next week. I think they help out.
I thought Duke may do that. I don't know that they would turn Ridge. I don't think they would turn Riley heel just yet.
Well, you saw that backstage segment though, right? They're both like, he's gambling us away again, and that's where I'm basing it off of though, Yeah,
and that's why I say Duke may do that, but I don't think Riley would. But I do think he's going to lose. I think Chase U is going to expand. I said it a couple weeks ago. They need to disband them and let them all go their separate ways. Let them, they need more single stars, in that roster. So I think that would be the way to go there. But I think sooner than later, I think, after the Lexus King feud, Charlie Dempsey's going to need another one. And what better way than to repackage Hudson,
regaining it
and coming back in there.
Yeah, getting his cup back. Yeah, because he held that for a little bit, didn't he?
I think so. I think while it was still over on UK, I don't think he ever held it on NXT TV. But I think while it was on NXT UK, I think he did.
Noam Dar is still the greatest Heritage Cup holder ever.
Next up, you have Fraxium as the NXT Tag Team Champions. A lot going on with those guys now. You saw the meeting with Ava, with all the tag teams trying to get them up. And I actually think one of those tag teams are going to take the tag team titles from them. I think it is going to be a tag team that has been severely underused and severely underrated, and it is Gallus.
Oh my God. Okay, so we're opposite here. All right. I like this.
So I think Gallus needs it. I think they need to be pushed a little bit more because it's really, when you look at it, they're the only really established tag team that's been around for a little while in NXT now. So you need to have something like that just to help rebuild some of these other ones. So I think that's who's going to be the next NXT Tag Team Champions is Gallus.
Yeah. All right.
Tamatonga coming in.
What's going on? Yeah. I love that dude. That dude's so awesome. He does his stuff. I swear to God. All right, but now I'm going. All right. So this one's a little different. I might, after when what was it, Tuesday? I don't know. Everybody started beating each other up. I'm gonna say Hank and Tank. Yeah, Hank and Tank. I'm gonna say them. Yeah, I'm going with it. All right. I think, but I do say that it's gonna be Hank and Tank versus Gallus because those guys were throwing down. I don't care what anyone. Those guys were really throwing hands. And it was nice. It was nice to see it.
All right, there we go. Next up, the North American champion, Tony D, is currently your champion. Sped, you're up first, man. Who you think?
I couldn't figure this one out. Like Wesley's going to have to come back in. Javon Evans is coming over to the NXT, North American. I mean, you have Lexus King going over there, but I picked him to win the Heritage Cup. I mean, you could throw Charlie Dempsey into this mix or anybody from that crew over there. Man, this one's tough because it's very thin on the men's side. You know what I'm saying? It's thin right now. And so I'm going to have to go with Evans. Javon Evans, the kid's got the NXT crowd behind him, and I can see him rising up, and taking down the family. In his own little way.
Yep, that's very possible. Before I get my answer, what's up, Nick Beasley from the Nick Beasley Show? Go follow him on YouTube. He's got his own show. He talks about sports, wrestling, things like that. really good show. I was actually a guest on his show a couple of weeks ago. So appreciate you stopping by, Nick. And again, guys, as we're going through, whoever you think is going to be the next champion, if you agree with us or not, let us know. Always love the engagement there. But I think the next North American champion is actually the person that he's involved in the storyline now, and that's Shawn Spears.
Oh, man,
So-
that's a good one. That's a good
So,
one.
and I think Javon Evans may be next up after that. But with Tony D being a baby face right now, I think they want a heel to go with him. I think Shawn Spears is setting up to be that. He just added a third person to his little faction this week. With I can't remember the guy's name that was the driver that he had when he was leaving, Nico.
Yep.
So I think they're going to have a Heritage Cup match, or not Heritage Cup, a North American match soon. And I think Shawn Spears may cheat to win it, but I think he'll win it and then go down the line. They may hot shot it a few times back and forth, but I think Javon's after that feud, I think Javon Evans could definitely stick in there and take it. But I think this feud will be maybe one where they kind of go back and forth a little bit between the two factions. So I think Shawn Spears may cheat to win it, and then Tony D will have to come back after the fact and get it back. Things like that.
How great was that promo though between those two?
was.
That segment. Yeah,
Shawn
sits
Shawn
down.
Spears, he's been underrated a long time, and he's always been a good promo.
Oh, when he was the chairman in AEW, he was doing some great stuff. People were dogging him for no reason, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, I mean, there's guys out there that are really good. You know, and hey, what's going on, Mr. U? How you been?
Mr. U, thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
But no, that promo was beautiful, man. That the way they're doing it in NXT right now makes me hope they do stuff like that when they move over to Netflix for Raw. You know, making it better. But I don't know what they're gonna do.
Which we will get to Raw after this. But next up, you have the Women's North American Championship. Fallon Henley is currently your champion. I'll let you go up first. Who do you think?
Gigi. If she comes back, whenever she comes back, it would be Zarya for sure. I was saying Gigi, but yeah, no, she's not coming back for a while. All right, so yeah, definitely Zarya then. Yeah.
I don't know. They've had promos. I mean, she was all over the Halloween Havoc promos. She's been cutting some behind the scenes stuff. Gigi has.
Yeah, but I don't think she comes back until after the Rumble, though. You know, so if we're looking at immediate in the way Zarya has been going right now, I know you're not going to give her the NXT Women's title, but I don't know, man. They might, but Stephanie Vicor right now is probably your top choice. You know, she's getting more pop than Julia was, and Zarya, it seems like she's more of an anti-hero. You know, she's a good girl, bad girl type of dude, you know, type of girl, whatever. And I see her dominating that division for a little bit, like kind of like what Oba did, and then just jumping right to the main roster. You know, she's that good.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I've got Zarya on my notes. I think she, especially when they came in and they've kind of focused on that feud with her and the Fatal Influence. So with them interrupting her first and all that, they kind of shoehorned in with wanting the 10-woman tag match and things like that. But I think she goes after the North American title, and there's no way you don't give it to her. As much as I like Fallon Henley, I don't know that her title reign is going to be as long as it probably should be, just because you have so many other people right there that are vying for that same title. But Zarya definitely coming in, making a big impact, would definitely be the one I would say would be the next person to take it.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
All right. Next up should have the Women's World Champion. The current champion is Roxanne Perez. And look, Sped just mentioned it. There's no way you don't give this to Stephanie Vicor next. I know Julia was the big one that they touted when she came in, but it has been very clear that at least the live audience there in NXT has been more behind Stephanie Vicor than they have Julia. Not that I think that makes Julia anything bad. I think those two are going to have great matches once Stephanie Vicor wins it, and they could probably hot shot the title back and forth a few times. I wouldn't mind that. And let Roxanne maybe move up to the main roster at some point after that. Throw a Cora Jade in there, whatever you want to do with that. But I definitely think Stephanie Vicor is probably the first one up to take Roxy's title.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Stephanie just, no, man. I think she did the perfect thing by taking the AEW job for that night and then just jumping ship to NXT because she got so much exposure in that one night. And look where she's at now. The fandom. People are love. I get it. Some people are jealous of the whole Latina tradition with the skull and stuff like that, you know. But Stephanie's over with the crowd. She's really good in the ring. I haven't really heard her cut a decent promo yet, but I think it's the language barrier more than anything that
Well, that's the
happens
issue
with
with both
that.
of them right now.
Yeah, it's always like that. Which then give me subtitles. Let them do scripted promos or let them do backstage promos where you can do subtitles. Yeah, and
They
that works
will.
out perfectly.
They've done more of that with like damage control and stuff like that with the
Yes, and
Sky. Stuff
that's what
like
I'm saying.
Shinsuke, they've done it with.
Well, yeah, he's gonna be out of there soon. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Stephanie she's the next one. And EC, I'm sorry, man. We didn't pick Cora whatsoever, but she's down the
Yeah,
line. I
I
know
mean, it
that.
happens.
It
Yeah, I
happens,
mean,
brother.
it's going to happen. Like I said at the beginning, we're only picking the next champion, not the next and the next and the next. Just who we think is going to win the next one. So if you don't like our picks, we're sorry. It is the way it is. But you never know. Your favorite person could win after that. Moving on to the NXT Men's Championship, Trick Williams is currently your champion. And based on something we said in the pre-show, if you haven't watched the pre-show, make sure you check it out. 7:30, Bedrock's Twitch channel. We do behind the scenes starting then. You jump in, join the conversation then. But I will let you go first from something that you said because I think I know your pick.
Yeah, I'm
So I'll
going
let
with
you go first.
Ridge. I'm definitely going Ridge on
Oh
this
wow!
one. I think Ridge, and I'm not saying he wins it now. I'm not saying he wins it now. Okay, I think Trick holds it for a little bit, but you're gonna get Ethan Page that interferes on a match. Then you're gonna get Andre Chase interfering, and then you're gonna get Trick Williams versus Ridge Holland 1-on-1. All right, it seems like that's the way they're going. Yes, we're gonna see side quests going on for Ridge, but Ridge versus Trick, that's where it seems like it's going. So I think Trick loses to Ridge and then he gets promoted to the big leagues, to WWE, to Raw or SmackDown. But that's what I see next happens.
You pulled a bait and switch on me. You
I
mentioned a name at the beginning in the
I
pre-show.
did.
That's why I let you go first. I thought you were going to go with Oba because
No,
you
I
mentioned
thought
him
about it.
earlier.
I thought about it, but I was like, nah, you're right. You're right. He's probably going up there.
So and for that fact, I also picked Ridge Holland. Again, it may not happen at the pay-per-view coming up in a few weeks. It may happen, closer to the new year. But I think this also won't be their only match. Look, and the main reason is there's not a whole lot in the main card picture for the NXT guys. I mean, there's just not a lot. You've got Ethan Page, you've got Ridge Holland, you've got Trick Williams, and that's pretty much it.
I mean,
There's not. I mean, Wesley's kind of on the periphery a little bit, but not much.
He'll be there.
You've got the Iron Survivor coming up, which I mean, you could really propel somebody that's not in the main event scene in there with that Iron Survivor challenge, which is one reason why I like it. Kind of the same way you can do with the Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, things like that.
The Dusty Classic, yeah.
That's at least something that you can take somebody lower on the card and propel them up a little bit. But since I don't know who that would be, I only have to be able to go on what I think now. And I just think at some point in the next couple of months, Ridge takes it and goes with it.
Oh no, he's been doing great stuff.
And I agree, Mr. He needs the title to kind of get remade for the bigger roster. So I agree. I think he takes it eventually after a couple of maybe 2 or 3 matches and just runs roughshod. Yeah, kind of like an Obafemi run with the North American. He may have something similar to that, except a little bit more of heelish.
I like it.
The crowd was behind Oba a little bit. He may be a little bit more violent, a little bit more heel tactic kind of thing. But I definitely think he could do that.
Plus, you don't give a guy that type of theme just to give him nothing, Well,
they have in the past, unfortunately. I mean, if we're going on past experience, WWE has done that a lot.
Yeah,
so hopefully
I count that as the Vinnie Mac era, right?
That's true. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully we don't get that as much as we used to which I'm sure we'll probably get into a little bit of that with our future champions on other brands.
Yep.
But that is our NXT. If you agree with anything on NXT we've already said, make sure you let us know in the comments. If you have any other thoughts and opinions, let us know as well. We will put the comments up just like you've seen us throughout the show so far. If you put a pick up there, we will put your comment up there so you can be seen and heard just like everybody else, just like us, because you guys are just as much a part of the show as we are. We really appreciate it. But we will move on to Monday Night Raw, as you see right there. All right, so I'm going to put the women's tag team. I know Bianca and Jade are on SmackDown, but with the U.S. women's title, putting the tag team titles here gives us 5 and 5 to make it even between Raw and SmackDown. So we're doing the women's tag team titles here. Obviously, Bianca and Jade are the champions right now. Sped, who do you think is going to win them next?
Honestly, this one's tough because they just introduced the women's United States title, so now that opens the door for a lot of females. Chelsea Green could be a contender. You could put in, you could put in Piper Niven if you wanted to. You could put in Belair Davenport, whatever. We're getting to that later, but this makes it difficult because of that. Because now, who's really the true tag teams besides the Unholy Union and the eventual split of Bianca and Jade? You have the PFCs, the Private First Class. Oh, I'm sorry. Where's the actual name?
Pure Fusion Collective.
There it is. Sorry. The PFC, Private First Class, is a military term. That's why I said PFC. My bad. But yeah, I think Zoe Starks and Sonya. Oh God.
Sonya Deville.
Yeah. No.
Or Shayna Baszler.
Shayna. That's who I was thinking of. Shayna Baszler. I think they take it. I think they're going to be the next women's champions, and I think it happens at the Rumble.
So I think they probably lose it at the Rumble as well. But I actually think with Dakota Kai coming back, I think it may be Damage Control that takes it. Trying to give her something coming back. Dakota Kai is always really popular with the fans. They would be a really good tag team, even if you have Asuka coming back, because you had the Sky Pirates that had them before Asuka got hurt. But some iteration of Damage Control. I don't think it'll be Io Sky, because obviously she's been kind of in the main event scene. She will probably be in the U.S. scene as well as the singles. Well, and that's the thing. They haven't announced that yet, so I don't want to speculate. And you would imagine if they were going to do them together, they would go ahead and announce it. So they may wait down the line to do that. Which is why, again, we won't be picking that. That won't be part of our picks here, because they haven't officially announced it yet. But I think they're going to let them do something, because Damage Control has been really good for years now.
Oh yeah.
So let them have a tag title. Whenever you're ready to split Bianca and Jade, because the next match they lose, it has to be the split at this point.
Yes.
They've already shown cracks. They've already shown staring at each other, things like that. So the next match they lose, when they lose the titles, has to be the turn. So if it's going to be at Royal Rumble, then let them be at Royal Rumble. Let Damage Control come in, take the titles. Let them have a good run with it. Go to all the shows, because they can drop down to NXT. They can go all over the place because they've all been there, and then run around there and just do something with them. I mean, they've actually gotten better now that Jade and Bianca have them.
Yeah.
They can catapult them even more, especially once you get some of the tag teams. You got Kaden and Katana, who are coming back. You've got the Unholy Union, who we're not really using. You've got some other tag teams that are coming back. You can even, Liv and Raquel. They can stay as a tag team for a little while. They were already tag team champions once. So no matter what happens with the women's title, you can keep that going as well to give them some good challengers going forward. Not to mention, I didn't even mention Metaphor. So even like that, if Alexa Bliss comes back, I know that's kind of what Mr. Hughes talking about. If she comes back as part of the Wyatts with Alexa and Nikki.
Alexa and Nikki would be fun.
Raquel and Liv without the world title, according to him. Hold on, I'm sure we're getting to that soon. We'll talk about who's going to win that title next. Or not next, but later on. But yeah, I think that's how they can do it. There's a lot of teams that are building up. It's a really exciting time to be a female tag team, because I think right now it's probably the best it's been in a while. All right, moving on to the men's tag team titles. Current champions are Finn Balor and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day. And look, I'll go first since you went on this one. I think it's probably their next match, and I think it's going to be the War Raiders. I don't think you bring those guys back, give them their old name, give them all the pub, let them win the tournament, and not give them the titles. I mean, short, sweet. That's how I feel. That's what I think. I think that's what's going to happen. What do you agree?
Yeah, we're done with this experiment. We're yeah, everybody can tell. The fact of the matter is that you can tell that Finn Balor wants to go on his own again, and he wants to do things Finn Balor's way. He doesn't need JD holding him back, and that's what's happening. And you can see the cracks starting to form. And yeah, I agree. This is the next match.
All right, there you go. War Raiders winning the next match according to us. Next up, the Intercontinental title. Braun Breaker, the badass, the big, not the big dog. That's Roman Reigns. Just the dog, I guess. The dogs are barking, but they're not big because that's Roman Reigns. Just the regular sized dogs are barking. It's all very confusing.
I swear, if there's dog food on TV again.
But the big question is, who's it going to be? Who you got winning the IC title next?
All right. Well, everyone here is going to laugh at me. Dominic Mysterio is the next IC champion. All right. Listen, this kid is getting cocky. Did you not see what happened on Monday Night Raw? He's showing a different side. All right. Plus, the turn's coming. He's wearing the Mysterio WCW beanie. All right. The turn's coming. You people will love him soon. All right. And when you do, I don't want you on the bandwagon. Okay. Get off my train. Okay. We don't want you here. All right. Stay away. He said, good Lord.
I would say these things, but you guys are doing it well for me. So I'm just going to let the comments speak for me.
If
the comments and my facial expressions don't say enough. So I will say, what's up, Davey?
What's up, Davey?
Anything to change subjects. I appreciate you coming and giving me something else to talk about other than that BS. But let's get who's really going to be the next Intercontinental Champion. And look, Brian, I said a couple weeks ago, Braun Breaker is going to hold it. Yes, I keep forgetting to make that little tag. So yeah, it was Spedzo to Dom.
I told you it was going to come up at the pre-show.
Mr. You thinks it's going to be Bronson Reed?
That'd be nice.
Stampede, Ilya Dragunov. I like that.
That's
a
good one too. Yeah,
I like that. But I do think Braun Breaker holds it for a little while. I think he holds it until WrestleMania, and then I think we get the moment that we've been waiting for the past 2 or 3 years. I think it's him and Sheamus at WrestleMania. Sheamus gets his moment with the IC title. Finally, we talk about finishing the story with Cody and all that, but we've been talking about Sheamus and the Intercontinental title for about the same amount of time as we've talked about Cody and the world title. He needs to win it. He deserves to be a Grand Slam champion. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's been in the company 20 years. Let him have it on the biggest stage against a badass Braun Breaker. He comes in. They will have a fantastic beat the hell out of each other kind of match. And then he wins the Intercontinental title, has his moment, and then if he wants to retire next year, he goes into the Hall of Fame. It's simple. It's easy. Do it.
Let me ask you. I understand. I like that pick. That's a good pick. But do it.
I know. That's why I did it.
So, what if you're okay? He wins at WrestleMania, like you said. What if at, let's say, not Backlash, 2 pay-per-views down the road. Let's go 2 pay-per-views down the road. Let's say Money in the Bank. Cena goes for the Grand Slam. He needs the IC title, Sheamus, Cena, boom, boom. We can have one more banger from them.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that later on. That way both of them get their moment there. So, but yes, as long as it, so I really, my pick is Sheamus. My second pick, and the most important pick, is anybody but Dom. Anybody but Dom. I'm begging you, Triple H. Triple H, don't do it.
I can't wait to see.
Triple H, I know you watch the show.
I can't.
I know you watch it. We've talked in DMs, we've talked in texts. Don't do it, Triple H. And Stampede said Cena should not be holding titles on his last run.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he should win a title. Something. He doesn't have to. I don't necessarily think he needs to win the world title and break Flair's record.
What about Speed? Yeah, I'm just throwing scenarios out there. I don't want to typically. I don't really want to see John Cena take over the IC title over some young gun that's gonna, like Oba or Ilya or somebody. There's other
I
guys.
think, and somebody in the comments tell me, because I can't remember. Shame on me. What was John Cena's first title? What was his first
United
mid-card
States.
title? Was it the US? I thought it was. It let him win the US title, just as a callback to because the US title right now is LA Knight. We'll get to later. We're not thrilled with that title run anyway, even if he holds it that long. Let him come in and win the US title as a callback to his first title win. If he's going to win anything, he doesn't have to hold it long. Hold it for a couple of weeks.
Come back and
let
Dr.
somebody else
for that.
Come back and get it. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't think he should win it long, but that's getting off topic. We will get back to the actual champions that we're picking. You picked that guy, and I picked Sheamus for the Intercontinental title. and yes, I agree. I agree. Speed in 2024 doesn't line up with John Cena. It's a very good point. I'm not sure that Speed and John Cena ever really lined up. I mean, I know he's always been athletic, but I don't know that Speed has ever been something that I've heard used to describe him. And
again, I'm just
the US title versus the Big Show. Yes, thank you, Mr. U. Appreciate it.
It was WrestleMania.
Historian and statistician. I think I said that wrong. Oh well. And it's welcome to the run-in. We don't know what we're doing here. All right, next up, the women's world title, which we've talked about a little bit but have not alluded to. Of course, your champion is Liv Morgan. Sped, what you got?
Okay, I think it's going to be Rhea Ripley, then Tiffany Stratton cashes in type of deal. That's what I think is going to happen.
So your answer is Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
She's the person that wins it next.
Yeah, then because she can't do it like that. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be Rhea. I think they're gonna give it back to her.
Okay, and I agree. I agree. It's got to be Rhea. I won't get into that. I was gonna say something about spoilers and stuff for taped episodes.
Oh no, I know. It'll
be. But I don't want to spoil it for the audience. I know
what you mean. I know.
I spoil it for you. Shame on you. You should have seen it. I'm not going to spoil it for the audience. Because I love them.
You should seen it.
But I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. But I do think Rhea Ripley is the next person to win. Down the line, probably at the Royal Rumble. They have another match because hopefully she's back by then. And she deserved it. Then you get to go into WrestleMania with Rhea Ripley as your champion, and then there's a whole ton of people who she can have WrestleMania matches with. Even if it's Jade or Bianca after they split up, something like that.
That'd be nice.
And plus, I agree earlier with what Mr. U said. I would actually like Liv and Raquel to stay as a team. Keep her out of once Rhea wins it back, that's the end of the revenge tour. That's the end of this feud for a little while. Let Liv and Raquel be a heel tag team. Let them go to the tag team division at that point. Try to do some stuff down there and let Rhea go on to some other feuds. So thank you, Mr. U. I know you said that earlier. I agree with you 100%. And finally, the Men's World Championship from Raw. Gunther is the current champion. And look, this one was one of the hardest ones to think about.
It is.
This is maybe like I've got. What I did was I listed out every championship on a sheet of paper, both for all brands, and I started filling out all the easy ones, and then the next, and kind of went is, and there were three that I had left that I was just like, I have no idea. And this is one of them because there's so much that could be done at the top of the card of this one.
For a while.
There's so many different names that are in there, but I'm gonna go with the more obvious one. And it's CM Punk. Because they teased it, they've talked about it. If I would like them to bring CM Punk back, I actually said this on Twitter. I would actually like them to bring CM Punk back in the Bloodline Survivor Series match.
Yep.
On the OG Bloodline. And before you laugh at me, I have reasons behind it. I have a whole story behind it. He was the original. He was the original Paul Heyman guy. He has no beef with the original Bloodline. He wasn't around when they were going roughshod. So there's no animosity there. He had the run in with the new Bloodline in Chicago before Drew McIntyre killed him. So there's a storyline where everybody says no behind the scenes backstage, and then Roman has to call Paul. Man, we can't find anybody. I need your help. I need the wise men back. And Paul calls in a favor to the original Paul Heyman guy, and then he joins the team. But after that, I do think it's going to be Gunther. It's not going to be Damian Priest, as much as I like him. But yeah, who do you think it'll be?
Same one. I was gonna go with. So I did it like this. I was gonna say Drew McIntyre, but I read this report that Wade Barrett wants one more match, and the one more match he wants against is Drew McIntyre. You know, so I was thinking, okay, if it's not gonna be Drew, it's definitely not Seth. And Bronson Reed's going to the mid card after this. It's definitely going to be, you know, yeah, I agree. CM Punk, Phil Brooks will take it off,
Yeah.
but then Drew takes it off of him, of course. Yeah.
Well, I think it ends up being because I've already heard they want Seth and CM Punk at WrestleMania. And
Yeah.
to make that match as big as possible, you're going to have the world title in there with it.
Yeah.
It necessarily needs it, but WWE sometimes just has to WWE. And they're
Yeah,
going to put
they
the
do.
title on it
They
just
do
to
what
make
they
it
do.
the biggest match possible on the biggest show possible. So they're going to put the title in it, and it's going to be CM Punk and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I mean, there's sometimes they just can't help themselves, and they're going to
No.
do the same thing that they go back to, and it
It's
makes
gonna be
money.
a
And that's
Hell in a
so you
Cell.
can't really fault them for it.
It'll be a Hell in a Cell match too. Watch Hell in a Cell with
I doubt he does another Hell in a Cell match.
it's
Oh,
the
I don't think he does.
yeah, what was that Ready to Rumble movie where they had the 3 cages on top of each other and the belt on top of that, you know, but they're gonna do that.
I like that. Drew and Phil for a promise ring in the title. That's funny.
That'd be funny.
So that is everybody on Raw. If you haven't already given your picks, give us your picks. Next up is Friday Night SmackDown. Starting off with the tag team division, Motor City Machine Guns are the current tag team champions. Ben, who do you think is going to take it from them?
A lot of people are gonna hate me for this. I'm going with the Street Profits. They got a contract coming. They're coming up on their contract. I think WWE wants to keep them. If not, they're dumb. All right, those guys are really good, really good. All right, I mean they could be your staple on the SmackDown when they move to 3 hours too. Montez Ford, Dawkins, those guys they deserve this title, and I get it. Winning against MCMG. Hey, look, I know they just won it. It's great. It's a feel-good story, but now they need to be built up. Now they need to be built up in the WWE because I don't like the fact that they come out to zero reaction. Zero. All right, they got a great. Okay, my bad. I was reading what you put up. They got a great entrance music. Everything's cool, but people really don't know them in the WWE world. It's just real wrestling fans that are the NXT base that understand who MCMG really is. What they've been doing since 2008, 9, and they've been phenomenal. But now it's time for the Profits.
So I'm going to agree with you, kind of.
Yay!
I think it's going to be the Street Profits. I don't think it will be the next match. I think the Street Profits lose next week or tomorrow night. I think they have a title match.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
They've been teasing them going heel for a little bit, and everybody's talking about them breaking up. Look, you can't break everybody up. We're breaking up. We've teased breaking up DIY with Ciampa going a little bit more violent. We've teased breaking up a lot of different tag teams. You can't break them all up.
Yeah, Grayson Waller and
great. They've teased Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I think Montez could go on a very good run, a great run. I agree. He could be a Swerve type run in another company.
Oh yeah,
WWE.
Oh,
but he has said many times on these interviews and stuff as they've been building him up, that's my brother. I want to do it together. If I can't,
that's respectable.
Then I'll go somewhere else. Then I'll do something else. But I want to do it with my brother.
Yeah.
So I think they actually lose Friday, turn more heel, and go back as a heel tag team to win it after that.
Yeah, no, I like it.
So that's kind of my caveat. Is they need to be heels. They actually need to change the music that everybody loves. Give them a little bit harder theme music where you can tell it's not the normal Street Profits coming
Yeah.
out with the cups and the dancing and all that. Give me serious Ford, serious Dawkins coming in and beating people down and taking the titles and building that up. And then if you want to do it later down the line where Ford and Montez break up after they lose the titles, you can do that later on down the road. But right now, we need tag teams, especially on the SmackDown men's division, because almost all of them are teasing breaking up. We just mentioned 3 of them that are teasing breaking up, and you just kind of killed Pretty Deadly with the way you did Ciampa, building him up a little bit. So there's not really any other tag teams there. So it's got to be the Street Profits.
That was a terrible booking decision. How are you going to kill Pretty Deadly like that? Come on, man.
That's why I said it. That's why I brought
Or
it up.
Tommaso Ciampa, all right, a man
Michelle.
who gets hurt so easy. Like, come on, man. This is almost as bad as when you messed up.
Come off. Both of Pretty Deadly just came off injuries too. So
yeah, but this is almost as bad as when they messed up Breezango. All right, you got Breezango 2.0. All right, don't mess this up.
I did not think we would get a Breezango reference in 2024. I like it.
Ah!
All right, next up, the women's United States champion. Currently no champion. It was just announced. A lot of people in the mix. I would imagine it's down to 2 or 3, but who do you got, Sped?
All right, man. This one's tough. All right, because
and now I'm letting you go first. I know you went first on the last one. I'm letting you go first because everybody probably knows my answer.
Well, I see. I want to say Chelsea Green. I really do, but is she going to Raw when they go to? That's what throws me off. Where is she going when they move to Netflix? Is she going to Raw? Do they want her? I didn't read anything about that, so that's what I want to know. You know, so I'm gonna have to say Chelsea Green on this one. Nah, all right. Yeah, Chelsea Green. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna stick with it. Let's stick with my heart on this one.
I feel like I've got to be like Regis Philbin. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Would you like to phone a friend?
No, I don't want to do that because they might say Tiffany Stratton or something.
No, so I agree. If anybody that's watched the show for a while knows, I'm a huge Chelsea Green fan. I think she is one of the MVPs of the WWE this year.
Oh yes,
and she 1,000% deserves to be the first United States champion for the women. So that is my pick. That's why I said it. Everybody pretty much knows, if you've watched this before, knows that's where I was going to go with it. There is a ton of deserving women. I'm not saying the other ones aren't.
No, there's
you've
a
got
lot.
Michin, you've got Naomi, Bailey. I mean, there's a ton of them on Raw because it'll probably be both belts for now until they mention the Intercontinental title for the women's. You know, even if they don't, it can travel between brands. So you have all the ladies on SmackDown that we've already mentioned: Dakota Kai, Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss when she comes back. We haven't even mentioned big names like Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair when they come back. I mean, there's a ton. But right now, the MVP of that women's division is Chelsea Green. And she deserves some props, and they're never going to give her the world title for whatever reason.
Yeah.
She deserves the U.S. women's title.
Yep. You're
Thank
great.
you for coming to my TED Talk. All right. Next up, the men's version of the U.S. title, currently held by L.A. Knight. Yeah. Who you got?
All right. So Santos Escobar C. Okay. I'm a big fan of this guy. Santos Escobar. He reminds me, and a lot of people will be like, whoa. Go back and watch some Juventud Guerrero footage. Yeah, Juventud was more of a high flyer, but when he was doing the groundwork, you know, the power moves and stuff like Santos does, it's the same way. You know, the way he does the drivers, the way he does the suplexes, the way he jumps off the ropes, it mimics Juventud Guerrero. You know, he's not as bouncy as Juventud was, but think about it. Yeah, go back and watch some Juventud. You guys will thank me later, all right? But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be Santos Escobar. They're gonna push this guy finally.
Are you ready?
And goes up.
You know my answer. I told you my answer last week.
Yeah, I know you did. What
it is the ruler of the universe, the ruler of the WWE universe, Obafemi.
He hasn't even came up
Comes
yet.
in. You're right. That is 100% correct. And he will come up and win the U.S. title on his first night on SmackDown, answering an open challenge where a cocky LA Knight comes out and issues a U.S. Open challenge. It will be Oba Femi, and he comes in and wins the title and takes it off of him and rules the U.S. Championship title picture. He can beat up Santos. He can beat up
Or he can beat up anybody.
Andrade. He can beat up Carmelo. He can beat up Apollo Crews.
He can beat
beat
up
LA
Apollo
Knight.
Crews.
Anybody? Hey, Apollo Crews is still on the SmackDown roster. I know you don't see him much.
No,
he
you
can
don't
beat up
see him.
Giovanna Vinci because that guy's not doing nothing. Get him out of catering. Let Obafemi murder him. It's fine.
Just
But
feed the
Obafemi-
roster to the man.
Obafemi should come in and win the U.S. title on the first night on SmackDown.
Well, okay, let me ask you this, because I thought about this, all right? What if we got Oba and Omos as a tag team for a while?
See, I don't. That's one of those things that's hard to book because you've got two monsters there.
They would kill everybody. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. For a while, but then you'd have the same problem that you have with two monsters all the time.
Yeah, but you do the Rey Mysterio effect. Rey Mysterio versus three monsters, and somehow Rey Mysterio wins. Yeah.
Somehow. Because he's Rey Mysterio. And this is one of the ones, honestly, I went back and forth. This was one of the ones I mentioned that was one of the last three I had. And I actually have 2 or 3 names scratched out. I actually started out with a heel Montez Ford.
Ooh, nice.
Predicting the Street Profits breaking up. And then I was like, no, I started going through the tag team titles, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. I need more tag teams, so I put Street Profits there. Then I had Ciampa as a heel by himself.
Yeah. Yes.
But I'm like, no, I don't want to see that yet. And then I came back home to Oba, and that's where you had to go. And it's my party, and I'll talk about it if I want to. Debbie says Dragon Lee takes it off.
That's a good pick right there. That's a really
it is a good
pick.
shout. And it would have to be a little while because I think Dragon Lee's on Raw, isn't he? So it would have to be a minute. So they would have to be once they have another draft or anything like that. But I mean, that's definitely a good shout. Dragon Lee's a great competitor. He has a lot of really good matches. And this was in reference to you earlier. Oh God, not Tiffany. So
yeah,
I'm a fan of Tiffany. I like the work she does in the ring. I think she's good. But
my daughter loves her. Man.
We may talk about her a little later.
My daughter loves her.
Dragon Lee signed in 2022, so his contract is likely coming out. That's a good point. But I know they've started re-signing a lot of people behind the scenes. Some they've mentioned, some they haven't, some they're talking about it. I know there's a lot of that going on in behind the scenes now because a lot of contracts are coming up this year. So that is a very good point. All right, moving on to the women's world title, the women's WWE title for SmackDown. Currently, Nia Jax is the champion. I will go ahead and do mine because I just talked about her. I think it's going to be Tiffany cashing in on Nia. They're playing up the whole bully part. They're playing it up her turning babyface. They're just setting it up for her cashing in on Nia to get that babyface pop, to overcome the bully, overcome the odds, and do the surprise. It's just what the story's been saying. So I mean, it's sometimes it's just that simple. That's what they've been setting up. That's what they're going to stick with. So I think it's going to be Tiffany Stratton as your next SmackDown WWE Women's Champion.
Mine's going to be completely wrong because you're right. I don't want to see Tiffany on SmackDown. I would like to see her on Raw. I think she can do more things over there, but whatever, it's fine. She is going to be your next champion.
Keep in mind, though, they're going to expand both rosters or I guess both. They're going to expand the SmackDown roster because it's going to 3 hours as well. 3 hours, yeah. Raw's already set up for 3 hours.
Yep.
So they're going to be bringing some more people into Raw. So into SmackDown. I'm sorry.
I'm going to stay with who I thought, and I had written down anyway. And I was going to say Bayley again. I was going to say Bayley.
Gives it back to Bayley?
Yeah, or Charlotte. Charlotte comes back and takes it at the Rumble, but yeah, that's a big possibility. But no, I think Bayley. You're probably 100% right with the whole Tiffany thing. I would like to see her cash in on either Rhea or Liv out there and on Raw. But No, you're right. The story is pointing towards Nia, and that's probably what's going to happen.
And I do like Davey's comment. Anybody please take the title off now. He didn't say please, but I added that part. Yeah. So, and moving on to again one of the harder ones for me to pick. And that's just because it's the golden boy Cody Rhodes, WWE men's champion. Finished the story. Everybody's heard it, but who's next? Fred, you're up.
Oh man, this one's hard. This one's really, really tough.
And before you start, I do agree.
Yeah,
it
go
does
ahead.
set up a Tiffany and Charlotte feud.
Yeah,
I think that
that's
would be
what
a
I
really
was
good
thinking.
feud.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Honestly, everyone will want to see Roman Reigns do it, but he's going to Raw. That's already been set up. Let's be honest here. I saw a poster of Solo Sikoa after WrestleMania, still on SmackDown. There's a chance after WrestleMania we see, at one of the bigger Backlash pay-per-views or whatever, where they go overseas and stuff, that Solo is your next champion. You can't pin Roman Reigns and not be champion soon.
That's definitely a way to look at it. And look, I'm not dogging you. Because I'll go ahead and be completely transparent. I had zero clue.
Oh man, I'm just spitballing on this one. I'll be honest with you.
So much like we did with my Crown Jewel picks, which I will remind everybody I only won one of. I'm going to go with my heart here. So I don't know that this is going to be correct, but I am going to go with who I have talked about as my favorite wrestler, who I think deserves it. You just turned him heel. Let Kevin Owens win it.
Oof, man. I
wanted to be Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
So I can't explain any more than that. I love Kevin Owens. I think he's one of the best professional wrestlers on the planet. Yes. One of the best characters on the planet. He deserves a title.
Yes.
And I think he deserves a WWE title run.
Yes.
Even if him and Cody Rhodes go back and forth with it a little bit, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But you don't make this big turn and do all this and not do something with it. I want him to win the title. And
please bring back 30-day title defenses. I'm tired of this crap. All right, 100 days in between 70 days on the tag titles. Like, come on, man.
Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That's definitely a possibility. Unfortunately,
it is.
Much like you said with John Cena, I know The Rock is definitely a title. I don't want to see him hold any title because unlike John Cena, unlike John Cena, I don't think he's going to be around all year.
No,
John Cena's made a commitment that he's going to be here the whole year. So if he wins a title, he's going to be around to defend it. He's going to be there every week. So I don't mind. That's one of the reasons I said I didn't mind John Cena winning a title at some point because he's going to be there. The Rock wins one. It's going to be a Roman Reigns situation from years back. He's going to leave for months, and that title is just going to disappear.
Yeah, I would like to see that title get defended more than twice a year.
Yeah, and I think that was in reference to. I like that one. I think that was in reference to the Kevin Owens, because that's about when that comment came back up. So thank you for that. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I think it is. And that's all of our WWE picks for every champion. We appreciate everybody's input coming in, and we will switch it over to AEW. Sorry, I don't have just a regular AEW, so you get the Dynamite logo.
Yeah, you get the Dynamite.
But it did say AEW, so we're going to go through each champion just like we did there. Again, in the comments, let us know who you think is going to win the championship next as we give ours. Starting off with the tag team division, your boys, the Private Party, who have just won them. Who do you think is going to take it off of them?
Let's not take them off of them for a while.
Somebody's got to at some point.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because I feel like somebody new is going to come in. I feel like, the Hurt Syndicate's going to get a new member soon, and he's going to pair well with Benjamin, and that's who's going to take the titles off of these guys. But I hope it's not for a while. And like I said, but I think that, the Hurt Syndicate, Shelton Benjamin, and I don't know who they're going to bring in for that, but the Hurt Syndicate or whatever
Sure.
they're Hurt Business 2.0, whatever they are.
You had it right. It's the Hurt Syndicate. That's
Okay,
their
cool.
official name in AEW.
Yeah.
It was on, I think, Shelton Benjamin's ass the other day because he had it on his trunks. Oh, that's a good shout. Aussie Open takes it off a Private Party.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one. I actually think it's a team that just got put together, but I think is going to do big things finally. And it's
yes.
I just saw merch come out for it, so I guess their official name is the Murder Machine.
The Murder Machine.
Brian Cage and Lance Hoyt, with the Don Callis family behind them. Or Lance Archer. Oh, Lance Hoyt. I'm moving way back on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, really good guy.
The Machine, Brian Cage, the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer, the Murder Machine. It's just setting up perfectly for them to kind of come in and dominate. So I think they're already Ring of Honor tag team champions, so they could hold both of them. That'd be pretty fine.
Finally, unite that crap and get rid of all the Ring of Honor titles.
No, I think they would drop the Ring of Honor at some point. They may just give them up because Ring of Honor is going to go off on their own when they get their own TV deal, probably. So it will be more split. Yeah, I saw that whole discussion. But you just got to do something with this tag team, man. They're too big and strong in giant to not do something with them.
They're crazy.
The whole Falls Count Anywhere match that Roddy had the other day, even though Roddy ended up winning, but just some of the stuff they were doing, Lance Archer doing the choke slam off the barricade was really cool. Some of the things they do, I love their finisher, which I have coined. It's not an official name, the Murder Cage. It's what I call it, and hopefully they'll catch on. Make sure whenever you see one of their matches, hashtag Murder Cage. Tell them that Big Mike sent you.
If you're at an AEW event, I need to see a sign, Murder Cage. All right.
And the names are, so Lance Archer is part of the tag team. His nickname is the Murder Hawk, Lady Alpha. So that's where the murder part comes in. That's his nickname. So, and then Brian Cage is the Machine. So that's kind of where all the names are coming together. And that's why there's a lot of murder involved. Plus, they're just really big guys who beat the crap out of each other. So that's kind of where it goes. Next up, we have the Trios title held by the Death Riders. So we're going to stick with the murder death theme, I guess, because you have the Death Riders, their official name now.
I don't know on this one. I really don't know. Like, you can just throw 3 teams together and you got yourself a trio. Yeah, didn't they do that with Sammy Guevara, Dustin Rhodes, and who's the third guy? They're not trio champions.
One of the Von Erichs or something. It was one of the. They're the Ring of Honor trios champions. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You could throw any 3 guys together to do this, but if you really wanted to give it to someone, you give it to House of Black because they're really the best trio that they have on the roster in my book. So I would have to say House of Black.
I don't disagree that would be a good shout, but again, we're going to go with where the story's leading, and I'm going to say the conglomeration. You've got the whole Orange Cassidy and Moxley feud going on. The conglomeration is Orange Cassidy's faction. The Death Riders are Orange's faction. So I think the conglomeration can come in and take it from them. That's really just the main ones that are set up right now. So I don't know of any other teams because you've got, the House of Black or the Kings of the Black Crown, I think is just what Malachi and Brody are. They're going for the tag team titles because they just won their qualifying match. So, I think they're going off doing that. I don't know where Buddy Matthews comes into that. So I don't know that they're focusing on trio stuff right now. So, I just think it's going to be the conglomeration. That makes more sense storyline-wise once they start to take them down, that they're the ones that take it from the Death Riders.
I like the concept of having a trios title, though. I like that concept. That's pretty cool. It's just
that's a nice shout. So you think Kenny joins them? So Nicholas, Matthew, and Kenny, not Perry or Okada. So you think Kenny comes back into the fold? I like it. Next up, we do talk about one of the member of the Elite, Okada, is the Continental Champion. Oh, wrong button. I meant to take the comment down. There we go. It's my first day. I'm sorry. So who do you think takes the Continental Champion off of Okada?
The guy they made the belt for, Eddie Kingston. He's gonna come back soon. I've been seeing his rumbles and
soon?
stuff like that. Yeah, he's coming back soon. I've been seeing more and more about him on the webs, as people call it. I don't know if they call it that no more. And
If
you know,
you're 90, maybe.
if you're 90, AOL, you got mail. But yeah, no, I think it's the guy they made the title for because they felt bad that he can't win a real title. And yes, I'm not an Eddie Kingston fan, but he wins it.
So part of my pick is the reason that I'm picking this person is because of what you just said. They made this title for somebody. It really doesn't mean anything. And really, Okada, as great as he is, hasn't really done anything to make it mean a whole lot more.
No.
So, and there is somebody coming back from injury. And I do think they are going to be involved in the Elite storyline, but I think they're going to be on the other side of it. And I think it's going to be Kenny Omega.
Ooh, nice.
He comes in and takes it. We get Omega Okada in another match for the Continental title, and Omega takes it to start breaking down the rest of the Elite, taking it off what he helped build, and then just goes in and destroys Matthew and Nicholas once they decide to come back from their hiatus. I do like that shout. Buddy Matthews would be a great person to kind of.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Hopefully, it would get both him and the title on TV more often in matches. The match he had with Adam Cole was really good that I saw last. I couldn't tell you the last singles match for Buddy Matthews before that I've seen, just because I know he's been intertwined with a lot of other stuff. But that's also a really good shout. But yeah, I think it's going to be Kenny Omega. Moving on to the International Championship. Current is Konosuke Takeshita. I'll go ahead and do mine first. I think this needs to be Bobby Lashley.
Oh,
I don't think he's going to be around the world title scene anytime soon with Moxley and all that going on. But I think you want to put a title on him fairly quickly. That would be an amazing dream match for hardcore wrestling fans to see Takeshita and Bobby Lashley just beat the crap out of each other. Because both of them just beat the crap out of people. But I think that would be a really good chance to give him that title. And that is a really good shout from Davey. He thinks it could be Mike Bailey, who's TNA. I saw a story today that his TNA contract is now up, so he's a free agent. So he could very well show up and do that as well. But Sped, who do you think will beat Takeshita for the title?
Ricochet. It's setting it up. It's already they've been showing it. He dropped the title last night. Takasha did, and Ricochet picked it up, but they cut it off the camera to show what was going on in the ring while Ricochet was holding it up. So yeah, no, I think. But can we give Takasha his flowers real fast? Winning that title has done him wonders, has it not? This guy has leveled up his game, and that's what I've been telling everybody. You got to just watch this. This guy is freaking phenomenal. He's going to be an AEW world champ.
He has caught flack, or I guess AEW has caught flack because he used the diamond ring, the dynamite diamond ring, to beat Adam Cole last night. Look,
so
he didn't have to use it. He used it to be a heel.
Yes.
He used it to make a point. If you're on the IWC and you're dogging him, well, why did he have to use it? He didn't have to. He was still fresh. Look at his demeanor during the match. He wasn't tired. He wasn't in jeopardy. It's not like he pulled it out because he wasn't going to win any other way.
Well, he's freaking phenomenal.
He did it just to be a dick. I mean, that's all it was. That's it. He did it to show MJF, look, we used your ring. We did your stuff. Pay us the money you're supposed to pay us. And I'm done with it. And that's it. So quit giving the man hate because he's a heel and he cheated to win. That's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, dude. A heel wrestler does heel things. I know we're breaking news.
No, you're right. Exactly. Yeah. Breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are just learning something.
And I get it. If you're a WWE guy, look, we love both sides of the fence. But if you're just a WWE person and you want to dog on AEW, okay, just say that. Don't sit there and say that, oh, this is stupid when you've got Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Roman Reigns for years. All of them cheated to win. It's fine.
Eddie Guerrero made money off of that. But let me ask you this, and this is just hypothetically. I can't remember the guy's name. He's on Twitter all the time. He throws up those trade scenarios. If you were to trade Takasha over, how many young prospects would have to come into? And this is a question that you don't have to answer now. We can save this for later, okay? And then get it for next week.
Let's do it another time because we're already over an hour. So I want to get through the rest of these, and we got a couple other things. So sorry, the time kind of flew away. I didn't realize we were at an hour yet.
That's a good time.
Yeah. Next up, you've got the TBS champion. Current champion is Mercedes Moné. So who do you think takes the belt off of her?
Her protege will take the belt off of her. And she's going to knock her out, too, when she does it.
Her protege?
The girl that comes out with her all the time. I can't think of her name right now.
It's Camille. Her name is
Camille. There we go. And then we're like an hour in, and it's 10 o'clock my area. I'm tired.
All right. So, and oddly enough, even though you butchered the name, I actually agree with you. I think Camille will actually take the title off, much like Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. You've got the bullying things going on. You've got doing all of that. I think it's Camille that takes it off of her. I think that is a good shout, Davey. I'll put it up. I think Athena. I hope
that would be beautiful.
Athena gets in there at some point because I want to get her out of Ring of Honor. Because Athena is one of my favorite women's wrestlers going right now.
Best finisher in the business for females.
I don't even know if she uses it anymore because I don't get to watch Ring of Honor, so I don't know.
I feel that. Yeah.
But at one point when she was in NXT, she had the Eclipse, which was the best finisher in wrestling. Then she turned it into the O-face for a while, is what she called it. So I don't know if she's still using it. But I would love to see that. But I think Camille takes it first. Likely to drop to Starks at Fun. I hope so. Hopefully they do it, move her up to AEW and put her on TV.
Yes, finally.
I want more Athena on my television.
Yes, everybody does. Everybody does.
But no, I agree. As far as the next title, I think it's Camille. They've teased it a lot. Unfortunately, I don't think it's Chris Statlander, even though that's their next match. As Chris is one of my favorites in AEW, but I don't think she takes it off Moné. I think they saved that for Camille. One of the reasons they brought her in as the powerhouse. They're going to give her a Jade Cargill type run after that, even though they have made her look fairly weak over the past couple weeks. But I hope they turn that around. Next up, the TNT champion, Jack Perry, is currently your champion. Sped, who you got?
I do not think it's Daniel Garcia. So no, it's not Daniel Garcia. We're going to put it out there like this, okay? Because this will make sense with the AEW World Championship. Is Fudge, what's his name? Luchasaurus. No, I know it's not really that one, but I can't think of his Switchblade, Kill Switch. There we go. I was thinking of the band.
Kill Switch.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the band's name. I was like, okay, hold on, what was their name again? Kill Switch. Yeah, I think it's going to be him. They're going to bring this feud is going to come back. It's going to come in, and it's going to be for the TNT title. And it's going to make sense for the AEW world title. Why I say that.
Okay. One, I don't know when Kill Switch is coming back. He's dealing with a medical issue.
Yes.
Had like pneumonia in his lungs or something like that. So hopefully he gets well soon. Hopefully he comes back. I don't see that though. And oddly enough, the person that I think is going to win the TNT title is Kenny Omega.
Oof.
I think he's going to win both the Continental and the TNT titles. In his story to take down the Elite, those are the two guys that were right there with the Elite, Jack Perry and Okada. He's going to go after one, and he's going to go after Okada first because you've got the history there, you've got all that. Once he wins that, he's going to go after Jack Perry because he wants to kill the rest of the Elite for what they've done to him, for what they've put him through. He's going to go after Jack Perry, take that title, and then lose one of them later on. That's fine, but I think he goes after both of them, and he ends up being a double champion.
We're going for multiple belt Kenny Omega again.
Yeah, hey, they've done it in the past. Why not bring it back?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Next up, the AEW Women's title. Mariah May is currently your champion. Who do you think is going to take it?
This one's tough, man. Very tough. Because I don't see her losing this until next year sometime. So I really don't know. But we
That's a
are
good
gonna
shout too
get.
for you to get started. But Ibushi's a
Oh,
good
I
shout.
was gonna say Ibushi. I don't think she loses it until next year, but I do think it would be Ibushi who have to take it. Either that or Athena. You bring Athena up.
Ibushi's for the TNT title against
Oh,
Jack
he
Perry.
said Ibushi. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of right now? Then there's a female. I'm thinking. I don't know, man. I'm so tired on this. I don't know. It's like I don't know, man. Plus this thing's so hot over here. I try
Yeah,
not
we're
to
almost
like.
in.
I'm not trying to like rub my eyes because I can't see.
Well, if you need to rub your
Uh-oh.
eyes, just do it. It's okay.
It's sweat,
So-
man. I got sweat coming in so bad from this heat.
I don't think it's going to be anytime soon either.
Uh-uh.
And I agree that Tony Storm is a distinct possibility, Davey, because obviously they had a great match. They've had a great
Again.
story. I would love to see it run back. But I mean, you've had all this pub and all this push for Jamie Hayter. She came back. I'd like to see her take it off of that. I'd like to see Jamie Hayter
yeah.
with a quick AEW title
That'd be
run.
nice.
They have some really good matches. I really like what some of the stuff she's done since she's come
That
back.
would be
I've been a
nice.
fan of hers. So I'm that's my pick. I'm going to say Jamie Hayter. All right, moving on to the last title of the night, the AEW Men's Championship. Jon Moxley, the leader of the Death Riders, the person taking over AEW. Sped, who you got? Who you think is going to take the AEW Men's title?
Again, I don't think he's losing this for a while. Yeah, just like the women's AEW women's. I don't think he's losing this for a while. It's up in the air though. I mean, you said something about that's who it was. You said something about DB potentially coming back, or BD, sorry, coming back one day. And that got me thinking when you texted me about this. Maybe that's who comes back and takes the title. But I'm again, it's a long shot, but I don't think he loses it until the beginning of the end of this year, beginning of next year, and it's to Christian Cage, right? I just said that TNT would be Luchasaurus, Christian Cage, right?
All right,
Takes the title.
That's definitely a pick.
Hey, listen, I would love to have that dude as a champion. He's been saying
and look, I'm not disagreeing with that. I don't think it makes sense for him to go against Moxley as the champion. I don't see where that would make sense.
Oh no, it'll be the
top. No, I get it. I get that. Davey with a good shout.
Ooh,
Jay White
nice.
taking it off of him.
Ooh,
he thinks he's actually going to take the contract from Christian because I know they're kind of in a feud right now between Christian, Hangman,
and he had a
Jay
great
White,
match.
kind of a yeah. They had their tag team match kicked off the show last night, and it was really good.
People were talking on Twitter. It was beautiful,
and that could be those could be title runs that are title feuds that Moxley can do. I agree with you. I don't think he's going to lose it for a while. I don't think he loses it until the middle of next year or the end of it. I think he holds it for a long time. Just for some of the reports you've heard that they're using this to kind of reboot AEW.
Yes.
Him and Tony Khan are in lockstep, trying to do some things differently, trying to switch some things up.
Yes.
I actually think that when he loses it around this time next year, that it's going to be Will Ospreay that takes it off of him.
Ooh, that's a good pick. That's a real good pick right there. It's a real good pick. Will Ospreay sometime next year. Wow. And he could run the main event division for a little bit. Mox Pin Jay. That's true. That's right.
There's a connection there.
But Jay White, we can't forget that he can run a main event division too.
I know.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah. My pick isn't anything against anybody.
No.
The way the crowd has gotten behind Will Ospreay more than really anybody else that they've brought in.
Yes.
And maybe it's because he went against MJF all that long, and anybody against MJF is going to get a lot of babyface fire with him. He's a Grand Slam champion in New Japan. Yeah, no, Jay White is an amazing wrestler. He can run, he could be the face of your promotion easily. But I think you build up Will Ospreay again as this hero, as this superhero. And he's the easiest one to do it. And I really went back and forth either between him or Swerve,
Yeah.
because I think you could do the same thing with Swerve. And again, you have the time if you're going to do all the stuff with Hurt Syndicate first. But the way that people respond to just Will Ospreay and not necessarily the dancing with Swerve and all that, I think it's going to be Will Ospreay. So that's it. I mean, that is every championship. We've gone through NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and AEW for every championship. We appreciate you staying with us. We've got a couple other things we will talk about. We've got our Twitter post of the week. Comes from Wrestling World CC. Seth Rollins actually mentioned that the WWE is lacking in the heels department. So my question is fairly easy: is who right now that's a babyface other than Seth Rollins, since he's in the picture, would you actually pick to become a heel that is not currently?
I mean, Tommaso Ciampa is obviously the choice right there. And Randy Orton's another obvious choice. They both do well as heels. I would like to see Street Profits as heels. I don't necessarily want to see Montez go by himself. I would like to see more tag teams getting the the Usos and the New Day treatment, where they're winning multiple times, losing, winning, stuff like that. But no, he's right though. The heel aspect in WWE is very, very lacking. Like, look at it. You don't know what Mello is. R-Truth would be interesting.
That'd be very interesting.
I mean, he has done it though. Look at what was it? The Miz-Truth back in the day. They had the Hell in a Cell come up. They came in, beat everybody down, and then left in handcuffs. And Triple H beat them down. But Seth is correct about saying that WWE is lacking in the heel department. When you're number one, and yes, here we go again, folks. When your number one is Dominic Mysterio, you have a problem. There's a real problem. All right, even when I say that. All right.
So, and I'll make mine short and sweet. If you have a heel problem and you need to fix it, you turn the biggest person in the company heel. So it needs to be Cody Rhodes.
Yes, that'd be beautiful.
Cody Rhodes is an amazing heel. Go back and look at what he did at AEW.
Oh yeah,
he's an awesome heel. Let him turn. It could be right after he loses the belt. He could turn heel and go back after the belt again to whoever he loses it to. Especially if you're going to have Roman as a babyface now. Yeah. Having them clash again at some point in the future with that on the opposite side where Cody's the heel and Roman's the face, I think would be interesting. But if you have a heel problem, you need the biggest heel in the world, and that is Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, last but not least, before we get to Sped's final word, we have our the run-in matchmaker series. Since we were talking about champions, it is going to be a mid-card battle. You have Tenosuke Takeshita, Jack Perry, LA Knight, Braun Breaker going up against each other in a four-way dance. Winner takes all the titles. We'll throw that in there since we're doing people who win the next titles. Before we do that, we will get Dom is Sped's number one heel. Mox is AEW's number one heel. One of them has tried to murder someone a few times. I would say probably more than twice. Moxley's tried to murder a few people.
He tried to murder more than one.
But look, Mox may try to kill you, but Dom will take your girl.
Dom will take your girl.
Which one's worse?
Dom will take your girl.
All right. Sped, who you got in the mid-card title matchup?
Yeah, the dog's barking. I got the badass Braun Breaker. All right. Braun Breaker, out of all four of these guys, has the biggest upside. All right. And just like Lady Alpha said, Braun Breaker takes it. All right. But he hits a spear so hard on Jack Perry. We don't see Jack Perry come back until we see him at MLW. Okay. We don't see him in AEW. We don't see him in AAA. If we see him in AAA, he's got the AAA insurance, not AAA in Mexico. All right. That's what's going on. Braun Breaker's going to destroy all of these guys. He'll throw LA Knight into the crowd. He'll spear the crud out of Takasha, and then he's gonna destroy the guy that I like, Jack Perry. And that's who
The guy
takes
that
the
you
pin,
like,
Jack
you're
Perry.
talking about getting cut in half.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah.
So look, I get what you're saying. Braun Breaker probably has the most upside because he's the youngest. Him and Jack Perry may be close, but I think he's the youngest. He definitely has the longest, brightest future.
Oh yes. Oh my
But
god.
I have to agree with Davey.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Seeing Takeshita's matches in New Japan and even
Oh,
some of the
yes.
stuff he's done here in AEW, man. I mean,
Oh,
that
he's
dude-
freaking phenomenal. I mean,
I would love to see let LA Knight and Jack Perry go off and just kind of do their thing. I would love to see, much like I said with Bobby Lashley and Takeshita, Braun Breaker and Takeshita in a match together.
by this, yeah.
Please take my money.
Yeah. Shut up and take my money. Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
Yes. That would be an incredible match. And I think Takeshita, much like we've seen in the past with Braun Breaker, he's still learning. He's still getting better. Takeshita's already there. Takeshita, like you said, is an all-world talent already.
Oh, yes.
Braun Breaker is a future all-world
Fair
talent. And that's fairly the alpha. We understand.
That's
That's
fair.
what we're here for. We're here to help. We're here to help guide. Jack Perry is a bum who will get killed in this match.
Oh, yeah.
And Takeshita is one of the best professional wrestlers in the world.
Oh, no, probably the best right now. That
He's up
guy,
there.
he is killing it. And that's why I don't think they should drop that title off of him right now, even though I think it's going to go to Ricochet.
So, but yeah, for that reason and everything Davey said, I think Takeshita gets a hard fought win over Braun Breaker, and LA Knight and Jack Perry are somewhere in the audience fighting each other and trying to see who can get the most people to scream at them.
Can we talk about how beautiful that international title is versus the United States title and the Intercontinental title for a second?
So Takeshita and Takagi are booked for Wrestle Kingdom. Man, that'll be freaking awesome.
Ooh.
I've got to find out where I can watch more New Japan.
Yeah,
'cause that would be-
I
that'd
gotta
be freaking
get
awesome.
one of those. Yeah.
But that is it for that. The last thing up we have every week is Fed's final word. So this is where I sign off. Thank you, everybody in the comments. Thank you for all your input. Thanks for watching us. Be sure to join us. We are back here 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern next week with another show, which we will be doing Full Gear predictions because you have Full Gear next weekend. I know there's 9 matches on that card now. Surely they're going to add more because they usually do. But we will do those predictions for our AEW crown. But with that, I will say goodnight and turn it over to Sped for Sped's final word.
But man, all I gotta say is if you guys aren't watching AEW lately, you're missing out. You know, it's been getting great. Everybody's talking ratings, whatever. They're staying in that 630 to 650 range, 650,000 range. And the storylines are there. You guys want storylines? Go to AEW. You want great matches? Go to AEW. It's been great over there. WWE's phenomenal. Don't get it twisted. NXT's been phenomenal. But AEW is on the rise. And we've been talking about it for weeks. And I just want you guys to understand. Go watch it. Enjoy it. All right? Because we may not get this again one day. Yeah, if this goes away, we never get this again. Watch. You know, number 2 versus number 1. Again, you know, true battle of what's going on in wrestling.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.